Every gilded cage is built with walls of comfort. The only question is what you're paying for them.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty wild, a theory based on the source materials we've analyzed that links some of the most powerful people on the planet to some truly bizarre, ancient rituals and beliefs.
I know, that sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But believe it or not, the sources we're looking at point to a real documented event. And this is our entry point. This is where we start heading down a very, very deep and honestly disturbing rabbit hole.
All right, so our journey starts at a place called Bohemian Grove. And no, this isn't some made-up location. It's a real, highly exclusive, and super secretive camp hidden away in the California redwoods. Every single summer, some of the most powerful men in the world meet up right there.
Now, let me be clear, this is not your average corporate retreat. We're talking about a guest list that includes former U.S. presidents, CEOs of massive corporations, media titans, you name it. And the main event? It's this incredibly theatrical, almost pagan-like ritual that they perform in front of a giant stone owl. Yeah, you heard that right. This ritual is the absolute centerpiece of the whole gathering. Picture this: hooded figures, chanting, a huge bonfire, and they burn a mock human body in sacrifice. The official story? Oh, it's just symbolic. They're banishing the cares of their busy lives. But the analysis we're diving into today asks a much bigger question. What is really going on here? What does all this dark, strange theater actually symbolize? Well, the analysis in our source material makes a pretty chilling connection. It links this huge 40-foot owl to an ancient deity named Moloch. And if you know anything about ancient history, Moloch is a figure associated with, of all things, child sacrifice. Now, that connection, it completely changes the game. Suddenly, this isn't just a quirky little ritual anymore. It feels a whole lot more sinister.
So that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is this just a bunch of powerful guys having a weird party in the woods? Or is it a tiny piece of a much larger hidden puzzle? The theory we're exploring argues that, yeah, this one event is a clue that points to something much, much more disturbing.
Okay, so moving on. The theory we're looking at claims this ritualism isn't a one-off thing. It's actually a symptom, a sign of a much deeper, systemic pattern of behavior that exists within certain elite circles. And this pattern, supposedly, isn't just about symbolic stuff. It involves very real-world exploitation. For a more modern example, the sources point directly at the network of the late Jeffrey Epstein. And the theory here is that what he was doing wasn't just the crime of one twisted individual. No, it presents his entire operation as the hub of a massive network, a network that involves some of the most powerful people on the planet. And this is where you can really see that alleged link between huge power and systemic corruption. The allegations, they describe a whole system, meticulously organized. We're talking about a private island, trafficking, and a flight log filled with influential names. And according to the theory, the ultimate goal wasn't just personal gratification. It was about creating a web of blackmail to control these powerful people. I mean, this kind of behavior is just so far beyond what most of us can comprehend. It goes against every moral or ethical code we know. And that brings us to the absolute core of what we're talking about today. Could there actually be a hidden belief system, a doctrine, that doesn't just allow for this stuff, but actually encourages it? Well, according to the analysis in our sources, the answer is a shocking yes. It points to a very controversial, hidden doctrine that completely flips traditional morality on its head, a doctrine where sin itself becomes a holy act. This belief system has a name, Sabbatean Frankism, and it's not new at all. It actually has pretty deep historical roots, going all the way back to the 17th century with a guy named Sabbatai Zevi who claimed to be the Messiah. After he died, his followers, especially a man named Jacob Frank, took his teachings and radicalized them into something revolutionary and frankly pretty terrifying. Right, so at the very core of this whole Sabbatean Frankist idea is a concept that is, well, it's so shocking, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. The central belief is called redemption through sin. Think about that for a second.
It's a total 180-degree flip of conventional religious thinking. The idea is that to fix the world and bring about this new golden age, you have to do the opposite of what you'd expect. You have to dive headfirst into the deepest darkness, you have to embrace evil, and you have to smash every single taboo there is. Yeah, the contrast couldn't be more stark. In almost every belief system you can think of, the goal is to avoid sin, right? To be good, to get closer to God or the divine. But in this doctrine, adherents are taught to do the exact opposite, to actively embrace sin, to commit profane acts, because that, they believe, is the only true path to salvation. It's a complete moral inversion. And here's the crucial part. This isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. This doctrine is allegedly used to give a spiritual justification for actions that the rest of society considers absolutely immoral. Things like ritualistic orgies, extreme sexual promiscuity, deliberately breaking every social and religious rule in the book. All of that gets reframed. It's not sin anymore. It's a holy duty for the chosen few. So you have to ask yourself, how could an obscure, ancient doctrine like this possibly be the engine for a global power structure? I mean, how could a belief system that's so upside down actually serve people who want total control? Well, the theory goes like this. This redemption through sin ideology is the perfect justification for a hidden group or cabal. It basically gives them a license to operate completely outside the bounds of normal morality. So they use secret societies to bring people in and teach them this hidden ideology. They use their control of global finance to fund whatever they're doing. And then, through politics and media, they control the story and shape the reality that the rest of us live in. And that brings us right to the heart of this entire theory. All that shocking behavior, whether it's at Bohemian Grove or inside the Epstein network, it's not seen as hypocrisy. It's not a dirty little secret they're ashamed of. No, according to this theory, it's a direct, even proud, expression of their deepest spiritual beliefs. So, we're going to end on this question. If a belief system like this really exists, one that can turn vice into virtue and reframe the most destructive acts as holy, a belief system that literally calls darkness light, then what are its limits? Are there any? It's a pretty heavy thought to leave you with, but it really makes you consider the implications of a philosophy where the only road to heaven leads straight through hell.